Hey, today we're going to talk about one of the most important aspects of the single plane swing, the tilts of your body. Welcome to the channel today. It's Todd Graves with Graves Golf, and I wanted to discuss with you one of the things that I find critically important and maybe one of the most different aspects of what you see and experience with a single plane swing, and it has to do with the tilts of the body. One of the things that I think you feel the most when you're learning the single plane swing, and any of you that are out there doing it or experimenting with it, is you see these tilts at address when you look at the address position. But these are very important aspects of the single plane swing, because one very important concept that you need to understand about the single plane swing is that the goal of the swing is to simplify your ability to get the club to the moment of impact. So looking at the moment of impact, and I have a 7-iron in my hand here, and you see, if I go into impact, you'll notice that I do have tilt in the body. There's a particular amount of tilt, and there's also a particular amount of forward bend and side bend. But all good players are gonna be at impact with a certain amount of side bend, tilt, and obviously some rotation. What we do with the single plane swing is we want to establish tilt at address as well. And this may be one of the biggest differences between a conventional golf swing and a single plane swing, and maybe why, I've always considered this the one mistake is when a golfer sets up over a ball and does not tilt and just stands at address without much tilt. He's gonna have to create tilt somewhere in the motion and then into impact. So there's just unnecessary movements that need to be created. And what Mo figured out was, well, if I'm gonna hit this golf ball that's on the ground with this stick in my hand, why not tilt the body to start with, which allows me to make it easier to get back to impact with a similar amount of tilt. Now, a couple things are produced from tilt, and this is really why I wanted to have this conversation with you today, is the tilt is producing some really important aspects in the body's physiology. And one of those things is the alignment of the lead arm. So if you look at address, you see that the tilt of my body is allowing my lead arm shoulder come up, and then my arm easily goes into flexion. So you see my arm gets in front of my body. So look at my shoulder now, it easily goes in front of my chest. If I don't have tilt, it pulls the shoulder down and my arm has a hard time getting in front of my body. Well, at impact, you're gonna see the shoulder in front in flexion of the body. Even though my body has more rotation, my arm is still in front of my body. We've used this term before where we say, hey, the arms need to be in front of you. But look at what happens if I put my arms in front of me, notice how my right shoulder is also in flexion, but watch when I tilt. When I tilt, my lead shoulder stays in flexion forward, but my right shoulder then comes down, and look at how it's more on the plane. So the tilt of the body is putting the shoulders in the ideal position. And this is where you get into really biophysics, because with the proper body position, with the proper tilt, now it's planing particular parts of my body, which allow my arms to then move from the inside. If you want to stop coming over the top, which if you're slicing it, or this happens a lot to many people in the golf swing, tilt your body and put the shoulder back into the plane, and you'll have an impossible time coming over the top because you're in tilt and the shoulder's coming from the inside. So I just want you to see how important this aspect of tilt is. But it's also the thing that most people, when they learn the single plane swing, see it and go, wow, there's a lot more tilt. I feel more tilt. What I want you to do is you feel this. How do you get the proper tilt? So I want you to feel there's side bend, a little from the pelvis, right? A little side bend from the pelvis, most of it from the upper body, which then aligns this lead arm into a straight line. Notice the alignment of the lead arm. It's also aligning the trail arm, by the way, because it's dropping the shoulder, putting it on the plane of the golf club and the shaft. It's creating these alignments. It also, and I talk about this a lot when I discuss this, notice I talk in terms of address then grip, because I want you to get the tilts of the body correct before you even consider putting your hands on the club, because the tilts of my body are adjusting the rotations of my arms and forearms and hands. So you notice that the tilt is putting my arms in certain positions, shoulder and flexion. My back of the hand can go to the target. My trail hand now is in an underneath position. So the tilt really is very primary to your hand position, your body position, and then how it affects your swing. So here's a 7-iron. You can see the tilt of my body. You can see my lead arm being in line. And this alignment allows the club to naturally go back into a plane. See that motion right there is happening because of my tilt. If I didn't have tilt, it's going to the outside. So the tilt of my body lets the club go naturally into the plane. And that's what really sets up my ability to take the club back and return it right back down to the most important moment of impact. So again, do a little experiment right now if you'd like. Put yourself into impact, right? Go to your nice tilted impact position and just step back a little bit from that impact position and see where your body's tilted. Try to create an impact position that's mirrored in your address position, and you'll understand why we teach the tilt of the single point swing as a primary factor to help you get to impact. Hope that helps you understand a little bit about why you're seeing the tilt in the single point swing. If you want to learn more about the single point swing, I have a pocket guide. You should get a copy of my pocket guide. I'll put a link in the description here to get a copy of our pocket guide where I can teach you in your back pocket the single point swing. And if you'd like to get more information, click the bell icon, give me a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video.